Hello folks and welcome to the Supplier Spotlight Tales of the Trade. My name is Liam Ball, I'm your magical wedding host, also known as the Gentleman Magician. Today I'm joined by a wonderfully talented photographer, somebody who I have had the pleasure and the honour of working with. She's really known for her warm approach and a knack of catching fleeting moments that couples treasure. So if you're dreaming of wedding photos that are going to feel genuine, heartfelt and beautiful, she's definitely somebody to know. So let's settle in and we'll start talking about some sparkles and shutter clicks. I'm very, very pleased to welcome to the podcast Zoe Mills.
Hello.
Hello,
Zoe.
How's it going?
Really good, thank you. How are you?
Excellent. Yes, I'm very, very well. Thanks for coming along and joining me. It's really great to have you here. In fact, I think we spoke about this. You're not only the first photographer that I've had on the podcast, you're the first podcast that I've been able to record. So that's pretty exciting all round, certainly for me. Yeah, it's of course it's wonderful warm weather at the moment. Everybody's melting. Dale, I've got all the makeup on, making sure I don't look too awful. Indeed. So yeah, I mean, as a wedding photographer, what was it that drew you into being a wedding photographer, and how did you get started?
Oh, that's a good first question. Okay. So I mean, even during school, photography was the only thing that I really thought, yeah, this is sort of what I want to do. I just really loved taking pictures. It wasn't that deep back then. I loved taking pictures of sort of flowers, my cat at the time, family cat. But then I studied photography at uni, and then I worked with some wedding photographers and some other photographers, but slowly then built my work up from there, became self-employed in the very end of 2017 and haven't looked back.
So plenty of experience doing it, which is great. And by the signs of it, much like for me as a magician, something you've loved always. What would you describe as your style of photography? What makes it different, do you think, from everybody else?
Yeah, okay. So I try and keep my work quite true to life. So, I won't edit too much. I mean, there is editing involved, but I'll keep them quite bright. So bright is definitely one of the things, as well as quite natural and storytelling. So capturing the moments as they unfold, and then sort of for the couple photos, if you do need some prompting, I'll do that, but I'll try and keep them quite relaxed, nothing too staged and stiff. I think it looks a little nicer when there's a bit of movement in the photos. So yeah, quite natural moments. And the three words that I sort of tend to use at the moment are storytelling, timeless, and joyful.
Awesome. That's great. I certainly know that because it was Hannah and Jack's wedding that we met at.
Yeah.
And there was certainly a lot of that going on in the background. I mean, what is it that draws you to weddings specifically? What do you love about weddings?
To be honest, weddings, you kind of have to be an all-round good photographer because there's people, there's, landscapes, there's still life, your nice sort of details that you need to photograph. There's so many elements to a wedding and so many lighting conditions that you have to think about that it's a little bit of everything. So that's one of the things that sort of keeps you on your toes. It's always a bit different. No two weddings are the same. Um, and they're just amazing days, aren't they? They're just sort of happiness and everyone's all dressed up and looking their best, and yeah, what's not to love, really?
That's definitely true. I mean, I know that I just enjoy the atmosphere at weddings, I think, and there are so many people that definitely add to it. But like you say, there's so much going on. And I always wonder about people, and I think they're sat there, they're planning this wedding. It's going to be feasibly one of the biggest, maybe even the most important day of their life. And I sit back and I think to myself, what have they not realised about what I do when I'm doing it? Right? What do they not know that I'm going to do or need that I need to tell them? Do you ever find that? I mean, what do people often not know about what they need to do to have a great set of photos?
I think sometimes people get a bit too caught up in it all looking perfect and want it to go their way, when really the best photos happen when you are enjoying the moment and just, yeah, sort of living at your wedding rather than, oh, I need to look this way and
Yeah.
do something to make sure I look great. No, let's just let go and enjoy exactly your day as it happens.
So it's all about being in the moment then, really, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they always
Tell the people that. That is great. What are some of your favourite moments at weddings that you like to look out for to photograph?
Oh, so many. I love a confetti shot.
Hmm.
We love that shot. Just the movement, the happiness. It's normally quite colourful, or even if it's white, it's just white confetti. It's just such a great shot.
Hmm.
Um, of course, I love the couple photos. Just go off and have a little bit of time just for themselves. Often the first time on the day to just for themselves, which is
Yeah.
quite nice. So I often shoot sort of from a bit further away at that point, so they get a bit of time to just chat and enjoy
Hmm.
their time together. And love a first dance as well in the dancing. Can't go wrong with a bit of fun dancing movement shots.
Yeah. Do you know? So, I'm constantly saying to people. So, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually an amateur dancer, for want of a better phrase. I do modern social dancing, so modern jive, blues, West Coast swing, and I'm constantly saying to people when they're talking about dancing, if you're going to do anything clever or funky, tell your photographer first, so that they know where to be when the moment happens. Because isn't it the worst where you're in that position and suddenly they do this big sweeping turn on the floor and a big drop, and you're like, I'm behind you.
Yeah, so true.
That's yeah, that's crazy. What other advice would you give to couples about their photos in the day?
Oh, right, let's try and keep it to a minimum. Um, so that's obviously enjoying the day as it unfolds, you know. And listen to your photographer. So, I mean, I have a call with couples about 4 weeks before their day. Usually it's after you've had your final venue chat, so we can just go through the timeline. Um, but it's really great to, yeah, just chat to your photographer about it because timings can really help and or hinder, what happens with photos. For example, I usually recommend brides to get ready and have their dress on sort of an hour before the ceremony, depending sort of how the day's unfolding. 40 minutes is fine. But in case they want some pictures with their, lovely dress once they're ready and with any of their bridal party, um, and then, if they've got a content creator or if there's lots of other people involved, they will also want pictures. So it all adds to the timing of the day. So just, yeah, really listen to and help your photographer guide you on the day, for your timeline of the day.
Cool. Okay. And when it comes down to booking a photographer, because I imagine there's going to be a lot of people who listen to this and think there aren't many options where we get to listen to what a photographer would say. If somebody out there right now and they're thinking about booking a photographer, aside from go book Zoe, what other advice would you give them?
Okay, yeah, there's a few things. So definitely look at a few different photographers' style and work. Yeah, photographers will tend to have their certain style of how they like their photos to look. So whether that's more documentary or more editorial, those are two sort of options in the style aspect. So documentary tend to be quite natural and candid photos following the day as it unfolds, trying to get the moments, whereas editorial can tend to be a bit more set up, or at least look that way, and look a bit more sort of high fashion magazine type shots. And then you also have the sort of color and that sort of feel of the photos. So they can be a bit more dark and moody, they can be light and airy, and there's lots of sort of varying ranges of what photographers offer. I tend to be in the middle of all of that. But yeah, those options. And then another one is making sure that they have experience really, because weddings are such a fast-paced environment and there's lots to sort of know about them really to be able to do the best job possible. So experience can help and making sure they are a valid business. So with insurance and a contract to share with you.
Yeah, some really great points there about insurances and contracts, and it's something that I am constantly banging on about, both to couples and to other colleagues. The number of people who say to me, Liam, do you have a contract? And I'm like, why would I not have a contract? That's crazy. So what does a wedding day timeline usually look like with you? What sort of time do you arrive? When do you leave? And what do you do in between?
Yeah, so if couples book a full day, which is the most popular, I will arrive roughly 2 hours before your ceremony, sometimes a little earlier, depending on if you are getting ready in the same space you're getting married in. I'll capture your day sort of ceremony through to confetti, group photos, couple photos, cake if you're having it, dance if you're having it, through to about an hour after the first dance, depending how that look. Tend to stay for about 10 hours. But yeah, every wedding will vary slightly. Not everyone wants to follow those traditions, which is lovely. I love a wedding that sort of try and make or break, sort of make their own traditions or break some traditions.
Mm-hmm. Do you love it when you get those moments where the couples say, "So we've just had this great idea"?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. We've got some couples having I forgot what it's called now, photo dash, I think it's called, where they run around the tables. Hannah did, and Jack did it, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yeah, that was fun.
I always panic a little bit with that, but it is quite fun actually. It sort of gets the mood going.
Great stuff. So what kind of, obviously for all the years of photography you've done, what kind of funny stories or sort of touching memories have you got from your years as a photographer shooting weddings?
Yeah, I mean, singing waiters have been quite funny over the years. They're definitely like a big surprise for either the couple or the guests, whoever's booked them. So that sort of element of things can be quite fun. And then I love it when couples sort of have some touches of um sort of honoring relatives in their days. So I've had it where couples will bring a photo of loved ones who've passed and actually have a seat at the ceremony for them as if they're there, which is really sweet. But yeah, lots of great. I mean, speeches are a lovely way that tend to work really well for like nice touching moments. Because it's, one of the only chances that perhaps, your dad might, for example, your dad might open up how much, he loves you and some funny moments. Yeah, lots of them. Yeah.
Fantastic. So if there was one tip that you could give to wedding couples out there to make the photographs on their day the best they could be, to make them really sing, what's the one tip that you would give people?
Oh, I don't know if this is going to sound a bit cliche, but make sure you head out at golden hour with your photographer. Which can be tricky because it can be around when you sort of sync for your meal or after your meal, but in the summer it tends to work quite well.
Yeah.
Sort of heading towards 8:30, 9 at a peak, good time to head out because the light just looks gorgeous and they're really beautiful photos that you will love and probably want to frame in your home.
Makes good sense. Right, now, I often feel like one of the great things about speaking to people is that we get to know them a bit better. So, some quick fire questions. What's your go-to coffee order before a wedding?
That's not a great one for me. A decaf oat milk latte.
Hey, a decaf oat milk latte sounds great. When you're editing, do you do it in silence or do you have music in the background?
Oh yeah, music or a podcast or even a show, definitely.
Fantastic. If you weren't a photographer, what would you be?
Oh, I love that question. Either something psychologist or sociology wise, or fitness instructor or personal trainer, something like that.
Get you. And last one, if you were handed a time machine, what moment in wedding history would you love to photograph and why?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard one. I don't know. I feel like I love where we are right now, to be honest. Time machine. Oh, I can't think of a specific era that I'd be like, yes, this is the era.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, but there's a lot of great stuff going on right now. Anyway, any interesting trends going on at the moment that you're liking the look of or hating?
I do love the sparkler exit, to be honest. But they are quite stressful with drunk people in the evening.
Yes, I always find with sparklers, one of the biggest challenges is getting all the sparklers lit on time.
100%, yeah. You need as many lighters, like the I always forget the name of the long lighters.
Yeah.
As many of them as possible. 100%.
I always carry a blowtorch.
Wow, that's awful.
Yeah, blowtorch, light it up, hold it up in the air, and say, "Right, folks, light your sparklers here." And you can have like 100 once.
Oh, and right, that's it. Invests in
blowtorch. Yeah, that's right. Great stuff. Right then. Well, listen, it's been really great chatting. One last thing. If people want to find out more of your work, where can they see you?
Absolutely, yeah. So Instagram is a good one. It's at Zoe Mills Photo. And my website is also www.zoemillsphotography.com.
Brilliant. I'm going to put those in the link down below on the YouTube video and on the podcast. Zoe, it's been great chatting. Thanks so much for coming along, and I'll catch up with you soon. Take care.
Thanks for having me, Liam. It's been awesome. Cheers. Bye.
And there you go, folks. That was the wonderful Zoe Mills, every bit as charming as her work is. Wonderful. If you want to see it, you can pop along to Instagram or her website at zoemillsphotography.com. And remember, if you are looking for a team to build trusted suppliers on your day, go and check it out. Come along for more supplier tales and supplier spotlights, and we'll see you next time. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.